Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I wanted to check out the brand new Briarbinds exotic gauntlets for the Warlock in Destiny 2 because they are absolutely phenomenal. The exotics in general this season are very good, and I highly recommend chasing them down for your characters as soon as possible. I made a video yesterday on the Titan one, but yeah, today is all about the Warlock. Starting off with the armor perk one with the Void, your Void Souls have a longer duration. They also gain escalating damage and durability as they defeat targets. You can retrieve your Void Souls by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployed. Yes, this means you can have multiple Void Souls now up at a given time. It is hilarious and one of the more fun ways to run a build in the game right now, especially with the seasonal activities where there's a lot more ad density and you want to stay alive, because not only are you using your Void Souls to do damage, it's also weakening them, but it's also giving you Devour as you defeat enemies. It's just such a great cycle. So as far as the build goes, I'm running Cataclysm Nova Bomb as well as the Vortex Grenade. These are just personal preferences. There's really not a right answer for those. You can run whatever you want. I personally run Healing Rift just because I like to sit in it sometimes with my Void Soul, go chase down the next one, and then stay alive a little bit more. I tend to run a lot with randoms, and they don't really take advantage of my Empowering Rift enough. And so what ends up happening is instead I use a Healing Rift to stay alive, to revive my teammates, and continue on in that path. So that's the only reason that I tend to run Healing Rift. It's if I'm running in a group that's more coordinated, I will change that to Empowering Rift. Then there's Child of the Old Gods. This is obviously the aspect that you absolutely need to have on. Cast your Rift to create a Void Soul. When you damage a target with a weapon, your Void Soul flies to them, doing damage and weakening them. The weakening part is really vital, especially when you're doing damage to a boss or something like that. Having the weaken on them and not really needing a grenade the whole time is very nice, and knowing that you're going to have potentially multiple of these Void Souls flying around is really hilarious. When a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy if running a Healing Rift, or health if running an Empower Rift. So you can stay alive permanently running an Empower Rift if you want to, but that does require you to stay in the Rift longer in order to benefit from the Empowering Rift's benefits as well. So keep that in mind. Defeating a target who is being drained by your Void class grants class ability, and your Void Soul grants class ability energy. So essentially you're going to have this back really consistently. It's kind of crazy. And then defeat a target with Void ability to activate Devour. This is obviously huge as well, because it does count not only the Void Souls, your grenades, your melee, everything. So you're going to want to do this pretty consistently, and it's pretty easy to maintain permanent uptime on Devour. While Devour is active, final blows restore health and extend Devour. So you can get a lot of Devour final blows and just continue the healing again. That's why the Healing Rift is not mandatory, and a lot of people will probably prefer the Empowering Rift there. Echo of Harvest. Defeat a weakened targets, creates an Orb of Power, and a Void Breach. The Void Breach is huge here, now that they've changed that, because your targets are going to be weakened all the time because of your Child of the Old Gods, and then that's going to allow you to create those orbs, get the Void Breach to generate ability energy. It's a nice little cycle there. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons. This is just nice to have. I do like making enemies volatile, so that's why I throw that on. And then Void ability final blows cause targets to explode. This does include the Child of the Old Gods, so keep that in mind. And then finally, Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenades have increased duration. This one I just toss on for the extra kills to get volatile rounds. Now, as far as the weapons go, I am running Kept Confidence. This is a brand new hand cannon from the season. The reason being, I just wanted to toss this on and test out how hand cannons are feeling in PvE, and they're actually really nice after the buff. And this is a brand new one from the season. It's a 140 strand hand cannon, so definitely check this one out if you don't have it already, but you'll be able to get this down the line as you play the game. It's pretty nice. I actually like it quite a bit. But this one, I was using Wave Splitter a lot. Wave Splitter is absolutely insane. You can generate so many orbs, you can do so much damage. Once you have volatile on your Wave Splitter, it is game over for a lot of the content. So you have just insane ad clear, and even with the higher ad density of the seasonal activities this season, it's just absolutely easy mode with the Wave Splitter and the Child of the Old Gods combo. Then I've got the Laser Painter on. I just wanted to run this just because it's fun, and also when your enemies are weakened and you're able to hit crit damage, it's just really easy to do ton of damage really quickly, so that's why I like it. And yeah, you can toss anything on. You can put on a rocket launcher, you could put on a void rocket launcher, void machine gun if you want to, whatever the case may be, but that is just a personal preference. It doesn't really affect the build mostly. So I'm running Ashes to Assets, Void Siphon, Strand Siphon, Firepower, Bolstering Detonation, and Fastball. Then we've got Void Reserves, Melee Damage Resistance, Strand Reserves, Insulation, Strand Weapon Surge, and Void Weapon Surge, and then finally Distribution, Time Dilation, and Outreach. Now, jumping into the build, I will say that this build is insanely fun. You have nice DPS damage with your heavy weapon / your super, which is nice. Having a one-off super is absolutely massive for this because it allows you to really play into the Child of the Old Gods, play into your grenades. You're just spamming abilities in between, like using Wave Splitter, and because of how many kills you're getting, you're generating a lot of Wave Splitter ammo as well, so that's going to allow you to keep the uptime of that almost permanently. You can swap out whatever primary you want and it won't really matter because you're not going to use it a whole lot unless you just want to test something out or use it. You can even go to double primary, but obviously that's going to mean less Wave Splitter ammo on the ground for you, so it's not really something that you absolutely need. But that's why you're going to have a heavy weapon that is going to be just singular purposed for boss damage. You don't need it for anything else. So other than that, I do feel like this build is one that's going to be usable in a lot of different activities. The reason being is because you can use this in something like a Grandmaster to stay behind cover and then ping enemies at a distance with something like a scout rifle or a sniper rifle, and then have your Void Soul move forward, get a couple kills, clear out the path, and then go grab the Void Soul, and then you're going to be able to cast your Rift again and just continue that cycle. And it's just really, really nice to have multiple of these going at any given time because the output of damage and the amount of weakening that you get across multiple enemies is absolutely insane. And the increased duration and damage is underrated, I think, with this. Everyone's talking about how you get multiple Void Souls, but having it around for a lot longer is so nice. And then also making sure that not only do you have it longer, but it's doing more damage, and people can't get rid of it as easily. I haven't tested these in PvP yet, but I'm assuming they're going to be pretty hilarious as well. That being said, I don't know if it's going to be anything that a lot of people are going to use. It's not going to be meta in PvP, but I could see this being used very often in some endgame activities, especially if you already have one well, you don't need a second one for an activity, then running this kind of build for ad clear plus boss damage with the Nova Bomb, and yeah, it just works out really, really well in my opinion. And yeah, I think this is one of the best builds of the season. This is one that I think a lot of people are going to be rocking just because of not only how good it is, but how fun it is and how versatile it is. You can, my favorite part about this, I can go into Gambit with randoms or the new seasonal activities with randoms, and I can do a lot of the heavy lifting. I don't have to rely on them to be doing anything really. I can kind of take care of everything by myself, and that's where a build really shines for me because I'm playing solo a lot. So that means I need to have a build that I don't need other players to have max DPS. I don't need them to be ad clearing or weakening or doing anything other than just doing their own thing, you know, because you can't really rely on randoms in the video game. It's just not possible, because if you do, then if you get ones that maybe they don't understand the activity or something, you're going to be in for a bad time. So that's why I have builds like this that are kind of jack of all trades, that are good everywhere and can do a little bit of everything really well. So anyway, my name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward. I really do appreciate all the love and support lately on the channel. Once again, my name is JoPa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.